Let's run it.
Well, guys, you're not going to believe this, but I got him. He is the waterman. He is an expert on water. Can you imagine, out of all things, besides decentralized finance, centralization versus decentralization, Bitcoin being more centralized than XRP? There's 900 videos. There's not even a fucking argument, okay, on which one is more centralized versus which one is more decentralized. Every one of your transactions with Bitcoin is tracked. It costs a lot of money. It's slow. You heard the story. I keep saying it over and over again because there's new people coming into the space. 0.00065% of the world's population is here, folks. We're talking less than 100,000th of 1%. The rest of the world is asleep. Okay. We're going to talk about staking. And then he wants to know about Nesara and Gesara and the monetary level playing field. And, shame on you if you're still making fun of Nesara and Gesara. That means you want to stay in the old three-dimensional world that's been broken for, well, at least 40, 50 years. It's way overbroken. The dollar's on life support. Everything's about to crash. The banks who are surviving are buying gold and silver like it's going out of style. Hence the reason why carminesgold.com is now the real deal, man. I got people calling me. I just got off the phone call. I won't tell you who the guy is. He's one of my customers, goes through me, he buys, large amounts of XRP through my broker over there in the UK and Australia. And I could tell you, the guy's like freaking panicked. We are literally a no bullshit waterman. We're in the middle of panic buying for gold and silver. You know why? Gold and silver is a simple situation. Why is it simple? Because you don't have to worry about figuring out a hardware wallet and learning where all the buttons are and jumping through all these hoops. It's challenging for a guy like my age. For example, I'm 61. I know I look great for 61. That's why I drink the Purium product. This product here keeps me very young.
Yo, you're on the Puria? The
Oh,
Puria
yeah.
is bomb
Purium.
too,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it tastes
Yes.
delicious.
Man, the power shake is amazing, man. We don't, man, we
Absolutely.
connected,
See, now
bro.
we
We
vibing,
connected,
right?
brother.
Now we vibing, right?
We
So,
vibing now.
yeah. So look at me. I'm 61 years old. It should be illegal for me to look this good at 61. You know what I mean? I should at least get like house
Facts,
arrest
bro.
for like 5 months. So, man, I'm just having fun with this, brother. Welcome to the show. Let's talk about the water first. Tell us what you know. Keep everything in layman's terms so that the average Joe, the average Jane out there
Yeah.
can understand. Welcome, brother.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you for having me on. Thank you. And yeah, let's get it started. Let's talk about the water, and I will do my best trying to keep this in layman's terms and make it as easy as possible to understand. So, um, I have a water store here in Azusa, California, which is about 20 minutes from downtown LA.
Mm-hmm.
And I went thoroughly deep down into the waters of water to understand water just because I own a store, right? And when I through the journey of owning my store, I have learned more and more about water. So, but let me take you back to like why I started drinking alkaline. So, it was brought to my attention what was in the tap water nationwide, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
nationwide, doesn't matter what city you're in, what state you're in, every single city is using a water municipal. And that water municipal is treating the water. And if you drive by your water municipal, it's going to say water treatment center. Now, the biggest problem that we have here in the United States is we are treating the water with chemicals as opposed to cleaning the water before we feed it back to civilization. So, with that being said, I got my family to start drinking alkaline purified water, right? Because I heard that alkaline water had the minerals in it. Fast forward, I'm like, I want to open up my own store. I open up my own store, and 3 years into owning the store, I start coming across how water has memory. And from that point on, basically, in a nutshell, I figured out that there are two ways to clean water. And you have to do both these things. Otherwise, the water is stagnant and unalive. So you have to clean the water physically because we're treating the water with chemicals, and that those chemicals are all carcinogenic chemicals. Okay, so you're talking like fluoride, bleach, pesticides, even human DNA. Because here in California, they have this thing called aqua cremation, where they're legally allowed to cremate bodies with water and then pour them down into the drainage. And here in California, we recycle the water. Okay, so I'm just giving you another reason why you do not want to be drinking or consuming tap water, right? Especially if you're in California. But so with that being said, right? So you have to clean all this shit that's in the water. You have to clean all of it out physically. But because water has memory, water remembers what was in it. So it remembers what it's come in contact with. So we've all heard of muscle memory, right? So your muscles have memory. Now, if you played soccer, if you played sports in your young adulthood, fast forward in your 60s, I'm pretty sure Carmine can get on the court and on the field and still move and groove. Well, how does he do that? That's through the memory that's in his muscles, right? And his muscles are made of 99.99% water. So what I figured out is that, again, water has memory. So we need to clean the water physically, and then we need to clean the memory of the water. Now, if you don't do both these things, the water is still stagnant and unalive. Now, there's a doctor by the name of Dr. Corrine Allen who proved that when you clean water to its natural state, and that means physically and the memory, that water is now back to its original state, what God intended us to have. And that water is naturally healing. In the past, 1,000 years ago, or maybe longer, when before we had tainted all of just this ecosystem that we're living in. I mean, and here in LA, you just look outside and there's like a thick brown film outside. Like the environment is just awful. But that's because of humans, right? But go back when there was no disease, it's because God intended us to not have disease. He gave us water, He gave us the food and the plants that we can eat. It's medicine. There's medicine in water just as much as there is in like organic foods and fruits, right? So yeah, and if you dive in deep into her research, I mean, on YouTube, you can go and check it out. She was helping all these different brain injuries with this water. And when these patients were just drinking the water, and some of them had autism, some of them were in car accidents and actually had like a physical, brain damage. And just other brain ailments. And what really got me super passionate about it is because I had a daughter that had they call it an ischemic brain injury, right? And she didn't make it. But when I was at the hospital, I remember telling the MD doctor, I said, "Hey man, you guys are just not doing enough research. I guarantee you there's something out there that could really help my daughter." And he decided to tell me, like, for whatever reason, the human body can only heal itself from the neck down and not the neck up. And I looked him bold in his face. I said, "Man, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, and you haven't done enough research." And I said, "Shame on you guys, because I know you're not doing clinical trials either." Because the entire time my daughter was in the hospital for about 25 days, I didn't sleep. I was up 24/7 scouring the internet trying to think of ways outside of what these doctors were telling me at Chalk Hospital, which is the #1 hospital for babies here in California, right? That's where my daughter was at. I was looking for solutions outside of the non-solutions that they were giving me and my wife at the time. And yeah, fast forward, my daughter didn't make it, but fast forward, why I became so passionate about the water is because that same doctor that I just brought up, Dr. Corrine Allen, her daughter also had the same brain injury my daughter had, but her daughter ended up surviving, went through college, has a family, and is thriving, right? And I remember from that point on, I was like, that's my daughter speaking to me from the other side, because I asked her, I said, "Hey, I'm very spiritual. So like, death, when it hits me, it doesn't hit me like it probably hits most, right? So like, I'm very spiritual, and I know my daughter was still with me. And, I wasn't like, of course I was sad and everything, but I was more of like, hey, like I want to still be in contact with her, and I'm not going to let this weigh my life down. I still have other kids to take care of and stuff, right?" But yeah, long story short, I felt like it was her communicating me, because again, to come across Dr. Corrine Allen and her daughter having the same brain injury, but her daughter was healed through the power of the water, I was like, yo, and I already had a water store at the time too. I was like, yo, I think this is the universe really showing me. And because from that point on, I installed an additional machine to clean the memory at the water, I mean, of the water at my store. And now, I mean, we don't preach this because I'm not trying to get in trouble, trying to say that we can heal you, da 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 da. But like, there's people that have had cancer and they feel like they've got rid of the cancer through the power of my water. I have this guy who drives about 45 minutes to come to my store every other week, because he was supposed to have open heart surgery, right? And because he has heart disease. After 3 months of drinking the water, he said he went back to the doctor, and the doctor said, "Yeah, your heart disease is in remission." And he's like, "What did you do, Ron?" His name is Ron. I have his number in my phone. And he was like, "No, I just started drinking this water." And the doctor said, "Just keep doing whatever you're doing because you don't need to have open heart surgery now." And it's, yeah, man. So that's the story on water. I hope that made sense. But yeah,
Well,
water is powerful.
Aquaman, did it ever make sense to Mel Carmine? Absolutely. See, I happen to own Staying Alive. I got my finger in a lot of businesses.
Okay.
I want to get into businesses that make sense. We know that the Western medicine has failed us. Okay, back 120 years ago, we could have went left on the fork instead of going right, and we would have went in holistic instead of going petroleum based drugs that don't work, which are nothing more than band-aids on top of band-aids on top of band-aids, and everybody's walking around like zombie. If you go to Walmart, Kmart, Target, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're literally in a zombie apocalypse, right? Now, I have a channel on Telegram called Miracles in Cape Canaveral, and it's wild the stuff you're saying. I said, please let him tell me that he understands about the energy that's tied into the water, and you did brilliantly. So we have videos in our Telegram channel, Miracles in Cape Canaveral, even though it has to do with stayingalive.com, alive with two eyes. All right. The Bee Gees would not allow me to have the one with one eye. Okay. The bottom line is we have a frequency that's scalar wave technology. The channel, again, Miracles in Cape Canaveral. We have videos where there's a pool of water and they would play a sound, and the water, based on the sound, will take a geometric shape that is wild, okay, beyond belief.
Mhm.
So you know that the water is alive. I have a 9-stage filtration system in under my sink. My water is alkaline. It's remineralized. I got the most gorgeous water in all of Florida. I can assure you of that, because I understand your subject just as much as you do, but I can't explain it as eloquently as you just put it. So, but you're right. The thing is, the municipalities are in with the New World Order. They're in with the cabal. They got to keep you sick. They got to keep the old medicine system going. We understand that. Okay. So we got a lot of work to do. Okay. That's why this Nesara and Gesara thing is so real. And there's 6,000 patents attached to it. A lot of these patents have to do with reverse osmosis of the air, the soil, the water, that are so outrageous, things that we don't have access to right now, but we will in the very near future. Once that guy that right there gets back, you see that guy right there, my boy.
Yes.
Okay, you see that guy? You see how gorgeous he is? All right.
I'm not very political, but I want him to win 100% right
Yeah,
now,
I mean, you'd have to be
period.
crazy,
So,
right? So now let's switch gears. We talked enough about water. Make sure you guys go check out, because look, we have the lowest prices out of any of the centers. I had a lady come in and then we'll get on with the conversation. Come in from Titusville, lymphoma cancer. She was more dead than alive. I had to allow two
yeah.
people to stay there with her free of charge because she didn't have a lot of money. And I'm not going to say, oh yeah, you don't have enough money, so you die. I can't do that. That's not who Mel Carmine is as a person. So I had allowed two people to stay there to basically walk her to the bathroom, which is like maybe 90 feet away from my, door in the same building on the same floor. And then within a week, it went down to one person. Within 2 weeks, there was still one person, but they were just walking side by side with her. Within 3 weeks, this lady's walking down the hallway with her chest out like she's ready to join the Olympics. Within 2 months
Yeah.
of coming to our center, stage 4 lymphoma. And again, it's the body that heals the body, like you said earlier. We just provide the
Facts.
energy field. Then the body, which is intelligent, which is designed by God, God doesn't make any mistakes, right? Allows
No.
itself to basically fix itself. Why? Because your body's producing billions of healthy cells, billions of healthy stem cells. And then the body says, okay, what's wrong with this person? It's got 3, 4, 5 things wrong. It will see which one is the worst thing and go right down the line. And the body has the ability to repair itself. The big secret, Waterman, is this. They know, at least that we know now, okay, that we can live to be 1,000 years old. And they don't want that
Absolutely.
secret. Yeah, they don't want that secret to get out. They know that we could conquer disease. They know that we can also eventually conquer immortality and create heaven on earth, Gesara and Nesara, right here on earth. And they don't want that to get out. Now, let's switch gears. Let's talk about decentralized finance, DeFi. You know a lot about it. I don't. Teach me.
I'm going to blow your mind right now, Mel. Like, dude, all right. So look, let's just start it off like this. All right. When you get involved in crypto, the very first thing you start hearing once you start getting conviction for different projects like XRP or XLM, the number one thing you hear is get that off the central exchange, get it in a cold storage, hodl, baby. Hodl, right? Am I right? Is that like
That's what I do because I don't know any better. That's what I do.
That's to be politically correct being in this crypto space. If you're saying something else, you're kind of coming off crazy, right? But they've basically, in my opinion, and I was part of it, they've psyoped everybody to just think buy these assets and then put them in cold storage, not knowing that these assets are digital assets and meant to be deployed as liquidity to earn passive income. You have David Schwartz, you have Brad Garlinghouse, you have Monica Long, the past 3 weeks at Apex XRPL, certain podcasts I've seen Monica Long on, the topics that they're talking about is DeFi, DeFi, DeFi. And why is that? Because the AMMs were built for your digital asset, like XRP, for example, to be deployed on the XRPL side by side with another project on the XRPL. And what I see coming is they're going to sit it side by side with the real USD stablecoin, because you can't enter a liquidity pool just by itself. It has to be side by side with another asset. So if you don't understand DeFi, you're not going to understand what the real USD stablecoin is going to do for the XRPL and for XRP for that matter. So, DeFi is this. You make swaps between two different assets. When you make a swap between those two assets, there are fees that are involved in that transaction. Now, who gets those fees? Where do those fees go, right? Well, it goes to the person who said, I want to deploy my digital asset, AKA my liquidity asset, to this pool so that every time there's a swap between the real USD stablecoin and XRP, for example, I will get a piece of that pie. And that goes for all of crypto, everything. And there's so many different pairs. Think about it. You know what I mean? You can swap BTC for your Ethereum, and the options are unlimited. And what people are not aware of, there's more than just the XRP AMMs. There's
explain AMM for the newest person.
So the automated market maker is basically what makes DeFi and why it's decentralized. So an automated market maker is exactly what it sounds like. So the AMMs are what allow that transaction to go down between, XRP and real USD. There's nobody that's involved in DeFi. There's nobody that's involved with the XRPL AMMs. There's nobody that you can call and say, hey, my transaction is messed up or whatever. No, the AMMs are like basically perfect. Yeah, there may be some bugs, but the way it essentially works, there's really going to be no one to call, and you shouldn't have to call anybody because it's automated, right? There's nobody involved. So with that being said, that's what makes the engine go. I mean, you need the AMMs, but how you get the AMMs running is with liquidity. So the liquidity enters the AMMs, and that's what starts making the engine go, right? It's kind of like it's like self-powering as liquidity is dumped into it. But again, XRPL is not the only one with AMMs. You have XLM has AMMs. You know, Base has AMMs. So Optimism has
How about
AMMs. You know, all these
XDC?
different XDC has AMMs. And I'm going to tell you something right now. When you look at decentralized finance as a whole, and I'm going to tell you about XDC. This is going to make sense right now, okay?
Cool.
So when you talk about DeFi as a whole, DeFi right now as a whole, there's about $100 billion in DeFi. And DeFi is not just those swaps that happen between two assets. It could also be lending out your XRP or borrowing against your XRP, okay? But DeFi as a whole is $100 billion. Most of that $100 billion, more than half, sits on Ethereum's blockchain. And that's why Ethereum is a $3,000 token. Ethereum probably holds about $60 billion in total value locked. XDC, for example, only holds about $7 million. And that's why it's the price that it is today, because it's not being used yet.
Yet.
Once the liquidity gets
Yet is the
dumped
key
into
word.
it, Yet, exactly. Once the liquidity gets dumped into it and the AMMs are there, I'm taking advantage of XDC pools right now as we speak. I'm making passive income with part of my XDC. I'm making
I'm
more
telling you right
XDC
now,
with my
this show
XDC.
could end up being 2 hours long, and I think everybody's eyes are going to be glued to the screen. I'm falling in love with you, brother. Check this out. All right, I'm learning as I go. See, I'm old
Yeah,
school. Where I come from, I'm a street guy. I'm not Ivy League educated, but I'm very smart.
I feel you.
I'm potentially one of the smartest pizza guys you'll ever meet, ex-pizza guys. I owned a bunch of pizza shops, made millions of dollars, spent millions of dollars, chased every mini skirt there was to chase, etc. Traveled around the world, you name it. I had a fantasy life. Okay. The bottom line
Yeah.
is decentralized finance and staking are one and the same, yes or no?
Staking is part of decentralized finance, yes. But in
Okay.
my opinion, staking is for the person who doesn't really want to do the homework and understand that there's other opportunity. Because staking right now, the max APRs that really exist in the staking world are about maybe 10% if you're lucky. But like Ethereum is like 1%, less than 1%. Same, like staking doesn't get you much. I'm just gonna
Mhm.
put it to you like that. Right now in the DeFi world, because I called this decentralized environment right now the golden ages, because nobody knows about the APRs that they could receive right now. So like right now, my average APR is about 250% that I'm receiving. And that's across probably 5 different dexes. But if you took the average of all my APRs, it's about 250%.
Mhm.
And that right there is unheard of, let alone 10 and 12%, which somebody who sees that is gonna that knows their stuff is gonna be like, yeah, well, Bank of America gives you less than 1%. I would rather park it in staking and receive this 5% because that's massive, right? But to start understanding decentralized finance right now, I don't know what the future holds because as more people get into DeFi, these APRs that I'm even talking about, the 200 to 300 to 400%, those are going to end up coming down because they would just inflate the economy. But because again, everybody, like 98% of people that are in crypto are literally hodling and have no fucking clue about DeFi, like zero clue.
You're
So
talking to
that's
me.
why.
I'm one of those guys. Listen, my school of thought is this: stay in good health, and I got the machines that help my body do that to scale a wave. I drink the right stuff. I put all the right stuff in my body. I'm into Croella. I'm into what's that other stuff that's real green? I can't think of the name. Spirulina. I'm in
Spirulina.
love with spirulina products, etc. Organic, super organic, raw, etc. So I know how to stay in positive cash flow. I'm a money magnet. I know how to make money. I just started carminesgold.com. I got people with millions of dollars calling me today, ready because they see the writing on the wall. They realize the money in the bank is about to take a shit. So I say to myself, I'm not going to be able to have the time to even learn about these decentralized finance and staking and potentially giving my money to somebody that down the road. So like I said earlier, I come from an old school that if I give you my money and you lose my money, I'm going to come looking for you as I'm going to break I'm going to break your fingers.
Yeah.
I'm going to break
your,
I'm going to break your kneecaps. That's the school I
Yeah.
come from, right?
Yeah.
If I give my money to somebody that's in the digital world, I wouldn't even know where to even begin to even look for that person who runs that blockchain so I can go break somebody's fingers. You understand what I'm saying? And that would put me in a very stressful
Absolutely.
situation, right? Because of who I am, right? So
Right.
you
Right.
understand?
Right.
I'm a little bit of a gangster.
I feel you, brother. I feel
Okay.
you. I feel
So
you.
my question to you is very simple, and a lot of people out there are going to want to know this question, the answer to this question. I put my money in a very reputable source that you're recommending, DeFi, staking, whatever. Because I got, listen, not to brag, I got millions between XRP,
Yeah.
XLM, XDC, Stronghold. I got all the right ones, all the ISOs. I own all of them. I'm guilty as charged, right? I
Yeah.
put my money to work. I would love for to know that my money is absolutely 100,000% safe. And you've gained my confidence. You proved to me beyond a shadow of a doubt, 100 trillion% that I'm never going to lose my money. Instead of having my money dormant, I would love rather to have my money working for me if I had that guarantee. What guarantees do we have that if we put our money out there to work,
Right.
we're not going to wake up one morning? Because I'm already there. The only thing I have to do is stay in positive cash flow, sell my gold, sell my stayingalive.com, keep that cash flow coming in, stay in good health, stay in a positive state of mind, drink my 9-stage filtered water that I could put some classical music to it so that I could change the structure of the water. You know how that works, right? Take
Facts.
my spirulina, take all my stuff, feel good, look good, and just wait until they say, come on in. It's your turn.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well,
See, I'm already there, right? So I don't want to risk.
Right.
It's like, okay, I'm going to put my money to work. And then like, oh my God, what happens if I lose all my money?
Well, let me ask you this right now. Can you lose all your money right now in crypto right now?
I have it on in cold storage, just like you say, sitting there doing
But
absolutely nothing.
let's just say, I mean, I mean, you probably hold a lot of the same assets, but let's just say, XRP doesn't pan out to be what we all think, have read and studied and have followed up on. Let's just say they take a fucking left turn and it's just not XRP. Can you let me ask you this. This is a better question. Are you guaranteed to win with your crypto assets right now? Are you guaranteed
Nobody's guaranteed nothing. The only thing we could do is try to read the tea leaves, right? Look,
facts.
The bottom line is this. XRP's been here for 6 months after Bitcoin. They realized Bitcoin doesn't work. The guy who put a patent on blockchain technology is who? David Schwartz, right?
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
1988. Problem is
1988.
1988, you have dial-up internet. Dial-up internet and blockchain technology are not going to work too well together, correct? Fast forward.
Correct.
Fast forward. He goes to work at one of those 3-4-letter agencies, right? In 2007 and in 2008, the housing bubble happens, correct?
Right.
2009, Bitcoin is born. Coincidence? I don't think so.
No.
Bitcoin doesn't work because it's slow. Proof of work doesn't work. It takes up too much energy. To move a couple of Bitcoins from point A to point B, you might be waiting hours, if not days, depending on how busy the network is. It's still an average of 3 transactions per minute. And we're moving into a world that's going to go graduate from 5 quadrillion movement of money to 50 quadrillion, potentially 100 quadrillion movement of money on a yearly basis. Bitcoin is an object failure. End of story. There's no argument. Zero. Anybody who would love to step into the ring with the pizza guy, I will shred your balls, literally. Okay, because I can give you all these facts. These are facts. How do you say? Irrefutable, irrevocable evidence. I have it all. Now, XRP is born. XRP is born by who? David Schwartz, aka Satoshi Nakamoto. He's the main guy. If there's other ones, he's the main guy. Why did they have to? Did you remember? How old are you, dude?
I'm 39.
Okay, 39. You remember? I'm sure you might remember, but you probably weren't born in that era. But there's a phone called the brick phone, the
Yeah,
Motorola
yeah,
brick
yeah,
phone.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
you know
yeah.
about
Like the original Wall Street when he's on the beach with that shit. Yeah,
exactly. Now, who uses the Motorola brick phone today?
yeah. Nobody.
Nobody. Bitcoin is the Motorola brick phone. They had to go back to the
That's
drawing
facts.
board. They had to go back to the drawing board and create XRP. XRP is scalable to what? 3.5 trillion transactions per second. Look it up. Okay. This has already been proven in the labs, folks. It's already moved trillions of dollars. Michael
Right.
Arrington moves $50 million, 55 million to be exact. It took exactly 1.8 seconds. And I have the video of him saying it took 1.8 seconds and it cost him 30 cents. And it's scalable to 3.5 trillion transactions per second. And we're getting ready to go into a situation where we're going to take all the people that are unbanked in India, Africa, and Southeast Asia and make them banked, not through the Bitcoin system because it's 3 transactions per minute. That doesn't work. We already established that. It's going to be banked through the XRP, XLM, XDC system, mostly XRP, the 99,000 pound gorilla. So when you start to take into account that you got 3 billion people in those 3 regions that I just mentioned, Africa, India, Southeast Asia, 3 billion people, and they have to move $1,000 a month, which is not difficult to comprehend or believe that each one of those people can easily move on average of $1,000 a month times 3 billion. You're not going to do that with a 40-cent token. It's got to be a
Now,
big
not to mention,
number.
yeah,
It has to be a
yeah.
big number. So that's what we're banking on. That's how we're reading the tea leaves. The tea leaves are, it's basic mathematics. This is not algebra. This is not, 10 decimal, whatever, math, whatever you want to call it, forensic math. It's none of that. It's basic arithmetic. Okay. So I just say, hey, I don't know enough about this DeFi stuff. I don't want to risk my money and wake up because we're maybe a year away, 2 years away from them calling us, say, hey, hand it in. We need your XRP because we are the Treasury. We are the Federal Reserve. We just merged with Ripple. Ripple became just the biggest bank in the world. They become the lender of last resort. Okay. And they need that money, that XRP, to move all the money on earth. Why? Because it's scalable to whatever it's scalable to. And they can crank it up to once in their hands. If they're giving us, for example, $50,000 or $100,000 for each XRP you own, don't think for 1 second that that's the number it is. When they have it, it's probably going to be $1 million per XRP because the banks, whoever those banks are that survived this this new world order, war that we're in, they're going to want to move one XRP and move $1 million, not move 1,000,000 XRP to move $1 million, if that makes sense. Right.
No,
So the
yeah,
only
it
thing I
does.
say, hey, I just got to wait a year or 2 years, which is not a big deal because I'm already here 9 years, almost 9. May 18th will be 9 years for me. That's my anniversary. So the only thing I have to do is just wait it out and have them call me and cash it in. I'm done. Or I could take the risk of following what you're saying, which I know nothing about. I'll be completely I have a black belt on Nesara, Gesara. I have a black belt on gold and silver. I have a black belt on the 6,000 patents that they're hiding from us.
Yeah,
Right. So
yeah.
what are the
Well,
risks? What are the risks here? Is there, in your eyes, in your opinion, do you believe with every red cell of your body that there is no way that you could lose your money if you put your money to work?
I can't say that I feel in every cell of my body that I can't lose money, but the thing is that I don't put all my bags up to do this. So I'm taking calculated risk. And also too, just to let you know, myself and CYPRX did put together Wealth 28 Club, where there's hundreds of videos of all of our research and step by step on how to move and groove in the DeFi world. And we have hundreds of people already in our club making passive income, multimillionaires, as a matter of fact, as well, earning and winning. So yeah, but what we teach inside the club, one of the many things is that we're taking calculated risk and we're not deploying all of our bags. But I'll tell you this, it sounds like you admire David Schwartz a lot. when David Schwartz was just on stage at Apex XRPL, he was talking about nothing but about DeFi. He was talking about Orchestra Finance. As a matter of fact, Orchestra Finance is a DEX that you can use right now with your XRP and deploy and start making passive income. And Orchestra Finance was on the backdrop when David Schwartz was on stage speaking again about DeFi, talking about we're basically we can't wait for global adoption. And global adoption means basically, bro, like you may not understand DeFi right now, but where this whole thing is going, you're going to be embedded in DeFi, period.
Whether I
And
like it or not.
whether you could or not, because that's what the environment is. And they're saying this in the next 20 years from now, eventually people are not going to be the money you spend will be coming out of like DeFi accounts. You had already earned yield on it and then you're spending it. Like I'll put it to you like this, most people like you never have to sell your XRP technically. I mean, you can ride the waves up, take profits, wait for the waves to come back down, but understand buying back into XRP gives you the ability to use that income that you just made now, hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars. You can deploy a fraction of that into DeFi and retire. Like right now, you could retire just off of 30 grand being deployed into DeFi. If you took strategic action and took calculated risk and really understood, okay, well, this DEX, they have third-party audits that they do, they have their white paper. This seems like a very, very reputable DEX. I'm going to deploy on this DEX. You take those type of calculated risks, you're going to take less loss. And then, bro, like, what we did at Club 28, CYPRX, I don't know if you know Cypress, but he's a professional trader. He manages millions of dollars. The guy's a genius. Right now, the market is bleeding. We knew the market was going to be bleeding about 4 weeks ago. All of our club members were getting out of pools, and now they're redeploying right now back into the pools because right now is the best time to be buying. We've got all-time low discounts going down right now, right? But our club members knew about this 4 weeks ago. I can't even make this up. Go check CyberX's tweets. He even has the proof right there. He says the blood is coming, and it came like a week and a half later. So, yeah.
Send us the links. We'll put them underneath the video. Okay, please. Because I like to cross-pollinate. I want to send you my links. This way your people learn about us and learn about Gesara. Because that's the mentality that makes this ecosystem grow. All right. These people that have this mind mentality, thinking that they own the 8 billion people on planet Earth, it's the wrong mentality. Now, you're a lot smaller than I am from an audience standpoint, but that doesn't mean that you don't bring anything to the table. I actually think you're brilliant, and I'm toying with the fact right now that I think I'm literally at the precipice of inviting you to the Quantum Summit 1776 Part 2, which is going to have 1,400 people there.
I'm there, bro. Say less.
You know what I mean? You and your partner put together a 40-minute presentation on what you know, because it sounds like you know what you're talking about. See, if I could put my money up where my money sits like in an escrow cold storage wallet, never leaves my wallet. I have full control, but I've created the leverage by putting the commitment that they can lend my money out in the field. I would be tickled pink if something like that exists. Please educate me.
So right now, all right, so look, I'm gonna put it to you like this, right? Like the SEC versus Ethereum case, that shit was dropped, right? Well, in my strong opinion, this is just my opinion, it was dropped because a majority of the smart people that have millions and billions of dollars that know where this shit is headed literally have their money deployed right now. Because again, I told you earlier, there's about $60 billion deployed. You can go and view the wallets right now on the Crystal app, for example. You can go and view wallets right now that have $165 million deployed into Ethereum liquidity pools, making millions of dollars daily, bro. Like, I cannot make this up. I just, before I got on the call with you right now, I was on the call with Mr. Man. He's got the Spider-Man face. Mr. Man, he's on Twitter.
I just did a podcast with him.
Oh, okay. Yes. I was just on the phone with Mr. Man, and we were looking at the wallets together. I was like, yo, look at this wallet right here. I was like, this wallet has made $35 million in the last 2 years. had $165 million deployed. Like that's what me and you will be able to do with this awareness once our XRP and our other digital assets do go places. Like once you know this information now, you can't unlearn this information. Now you're just going to continue to build off of this and learn more, and you're going to be way ahead of the bunch. Like I'll put it to you like this. I made right before this bloodshed happened, I made an additional 10,000 XRP that I would have never had, that I now have locked up in my cold storage, but I made that through the power of DeFi. So, you know, to each their own. And when you have information, and this right here is a great conversation sharing information. When you have the information right now is gold. Cypress says it best. We're in the time of information. Like this is the golden era of information. Like you shouldn't be watching sports and TV. You should be trying to consume as much information as possible right now, period. You know what I mean?
You know,
So
I said that July 5th should have been National Day in the United States where we all take our television sets outside in the backyard and shoot them with our AK-47s and 9mm, whatever. Okay. I haven't been watching television in over 27, 28 years. I'm a YouTube junkie. I watch what I want to watch, and I watch everything about education. I'm watching this thing, Owning Manhattan. I don't watch Netflix. Going through these movies, we're watching 5 minutes, I'm turning it off. I'm watching 5 minutes, another one, turning it off. I'm like, this is ridiculous. You know, trying to get me to become a homosexual because you're showing me two guys kissing. That's not going to make me become a homosexual. I'm a heterosexual, motherfucker. You know what I mean? You feeling me? It's ridiculous. So check this out. So I'm watching, all of a sudden I come across a show, Owning Manhattan, with this guy, something Sirhan, this tall dude with like silver hair, sixth largest real estate company in 3 years in Manhattan. And it's about a bunch of real estate, savages, really intelligent salespeople selling Manhattan. I'm like, that's the kind of show. I binge watched it, bro. In 2 days, I watched all eight episodes because I learned something. I want to be stimulated. I don't want to watch some bullshit about somebody trying to, I don't have anything against gay people. I want to put that out there.
Right.
Okay. I have no problem. You want to be gay? Hey, more power to you. You're good. Okay. I have some friends of mine who are gay, and I like them as gay people. I don't see them as straight people because that's not what they are. They're gay. I have some of them. They're as old as 85 years old. They're gay.
Yeah.
Hello. So, and I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem with it is them trying to push the agenda onto your kids.
Hey, and bro, I'll be honest with you. I ripped my kids out of school. I'm going to be honest with you. I ripped my kids out of school 8 years ago completely. My two youngest and my newborn will never, ever, they've never been to school and they never will. I had this awareness that they were going to start asking our kids these questions, not to mention the vaccine scheduling that they require for your children to go to school. I said,
let's be careful with that subject.
No way.
Let's be careful.
My bad. Yeah, you're
put this on YouTube. That's fine. But anyway, let's talk. Let's talk a little bit. And I don't want to waste a lot of time on this. Are we in agreement that XRP is far more decentralized than Bitcoin? There are thousands of videos on the internet that prove this beyond a shadow of a doubt with real information that you cannot debunk. Okay. So are you on the same page? I say it is. I know it is. I've watched enough videos to put that thing aside. Let's not even harp on it. If you want to go do your own homework, go put in the time, go watch the videos yourself. You'll find out that what we're saying is true. Are we on the same page? XRP 10,000 times more decentralized.
Well, 100%. Let me just tell you from the standpoint of DeFi. So DeFi, there's not many options for Bitcoin at all, unless you wrap it and probably put it on Ethereum. Then there's maybe a couple pools that you could take advantage of. But right now, think about it. The only way you can get Bitcoin is you have to go to a centralized exchange. And when you buy anything from a centralized exchange, guess what? You got to abide by their little policies until you're out of that little policy time frame, right? So, if you buy it on Uphold, for example, they could lock up your Bitcoin for 48 hours. How decentralized is that, right? But if you get your XRP like from a Zaman wallet and swap it from a decentralized DEX, then guess what? You never had to go to a centralized exchange. So just in DeFi alone, it really shows that BTC Bitcoin really like truly has zero utility. I'm still baffled on the price of it is today. But like, with no utility, no liquidity, and only the liquidity is like the people that bought it and it's sitting in their cold storage or whatever. Like I just don't get it. Like I bought into the whole Bitcoin thing when I first got into crypto and eventually sold all my Bitcoin. I think I had two Bitcoin at the time back when it was like 15 racks. But yeah, I had to get rid of it because I was like, yo, like, especially, have you seen that Dan Pena short video when he's like, it's
Yeah.
going to zero?
Yeah.
That
He's
speech, I don't
intense.
know, it hit me, man. It hit me, dude. Like, and like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm not big on like like I don't really pay too much attention to like the riddles or anything too much anymore now, or the conspiracies. But there's just something in my soul and in my intuition that was just like, I don't want to hold Bitcoin. If I miss out on that rodeo, if Bitcoin ever did go to like $1 million or infinity, I'm kind of okay with it. I've accepted that like it's not for me. You know what I mean? So
I
yeah.
don't think it's going to go to $1 million, but I do expect it will hit between 150 to 250,000. And then they're going to phase it out very quickly because they'll realize it's an antiquated system. It doesn't work anymore. Because really, why was Bitcoin created? It was created to move money. Okay. It doesn't move money. Okay. This bullshit story that they created a store of value and they're comparing it to gold. Wait a minute. Gold, it happens to live in the technology that you and I are talking on right now. There's gold in this technology that allows this conversation to take place. There is silver in this technology that allows this conversation to
Facts.
take place, right? It's got
That's
utility.
facts.
It's got utility. What this storage of gold, Bitcoin, digital hot air bullshit story, what does it do? Nothing.
Yeah, yeah. No, it doesn't
Nothing.
even, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like when I discovered DeFi, I went on a binge on a lot of different assets, 24-hour binges. I didn't go to sleep and I was just on the internet scouring. And when I came to Bitcoin, I was like, yo, there is absolutely nothing that Bitcoin can really do for you in this decentralized environment. Like, why would one want to hold millions of dollars of Bitcoin when, like, you know what I mean? Like, really, the only option is you could lend it out and maybe get like a 0.5% or 1%, but you would have to be ridiculously rich with Bitcoin. You would have to have been one of the OGs to even take advantage of that 1%. But like, that's nothing compared to, again, what the other options are in this decentralized environment. I mean, right now you can put your XRP to work, XRP and MAG for like 80% right now you can earn. So it's like,
Right.
yo, like what? Like I'm gonna tell you like this, Mel. Like if let's just say I became a millionaire, I made $1 million off of XRP. I could literally sell it, take profits, wait for everything to come back down, but then I would deploy maybe $200,000 into a liquidity pool, and now I'm making 160,000, right? And this is another thing too, Mel. Like I'm going to plant a seed in you right now because you're a business guy and you're all about your money, and I love that. So you got to look at decentralized. You got to look at DeFi as a business, bro. Think of it as a business because look, overhead with a business, you got to pay rent. You got to pay, the salaries of all your employees, workman's comp. There's a bunch of shit that comes with owning a business, right?
Mhm.
Well, if you create a DeFi portfolio, guess what your overhead is? The fees when you get in and out of these pools and the transactions, and that's like really pennies to the dollar. But
Mhm.
if you can see your assets now as investments that you can put in a DeFi portfolio business that you're creating, and again, you have some bags that you just don't touch that are like your 10-year, 20-year hodl bags, but then you have your other bags that you deploy and you use as a business. Like
Yeah.
that's what we're teaching at the Club 28, Wealth 28 Club. We're teaching you how to make a business out of
Well,
DeFi.
listen, I'm going to lock arms with you once you prove to me that this is the real deal. Club 28 is the way to go. Man, you listen, when I'm on your side, I become a walking, talking billboard for whatever it is you're doing that I don't know how to do. I don't have time to learn how to do, but I have to be able to have the confidence and trust in you 100,000% and your partners to
Yeah.
make sure that my people's money is safe And it's like, look, I would be tickled pink to take the money I have right now, which is not a lot, right? But I have enough to probably where I'm potentially losing $3,000 to $5,000 a week in interest based on what you're telling me.
Yeah, you really are. And look, Mel, I would even say it like this, man. $100 I know is not nothing to you. So you can take $100 and just because there's no minimum in DeFi, start playing with $100. Start fiddling around. Like
Mhm.
come and check out YouTube videos I've made. And then, of course, join the club. I would love to have you inside the club. The club is amazing. And but there's two sides to it though, too, because the club part is the part where we're teaching you the tutorials and the step-by-steps how to get involved in the different dexes. But then understanding market sentiment, which is like the Discord side. So we did like cookie cutter pricing. I won't get into that, but like the Discord side really explains, market sentiment, delta zones, and all that stuff that I'm saying right now is probably foreign to you, but like it'll make sense once you get inside the club and once you start understanding this stuff. I'm gonna tell you like this, man. It's not rocket science, bro. You can handle it. And most of your people that are subscribed to you and follow you and are your people are gonna definitely be able to wrap their minds around it too. For sure.
I
It's
have
not,
hundreds of
I'm telling you,
thousands. I have hundreds of thousands
it's
of
not
people that
rocket
follow me.
science.
I have hundreds
I'm
of
telling you, it's not,
thousands. Yeah. Listen, I have hundreds of thousands
yeah.
of people follow me. And the reason why I'm very cautious in protecting the people is I'm here on the battlefield and I will live or die on the battlefield protecting the little people. But see, what's the chances? I got to play devil's advocate. What's the
Yeah,
chances?
please do.
Yeah. What's the chances of some DeFi thing that comes along that's sort of maybe run by like FTX, this guy, Sam Bakeman Friedman, right? That turns out to
Right,
be a
right.
scam and everybody loses their money. My name's on the line.
Yeah, so look, like so at Club 28, like we're not stamping any decks at all. We make that very loud and clear. This is again, it's brand new, evolving space that doesn't even have regulation yet. But look, let me explain it to you like this. All right. I come from the cannabis world. I made a lot of my money in cannabis here in California up until legalization. When legalization came, that shit threw a monkey wrench in most people's game and what they had going on. Where did I make a majority of my money? Where did I make my money to later on invest in now three different businesses that I own? Well, it was from cannabis. And guess what? I made that pre-regulation. So I look at DeFi as that pre-regulation time to make money. Are you going to take some L's here and there? Yes, there may be. And we're not stamping anybody. We make that loud and clear. Do your homework. I only, mess with dexes that have third-party audits or, David Schwartz again has that dex on the backdrop on stage while he's speaking. Like those are the dexes I'm messing with. I'm not going with these
So you're not
janky dexes.
trading.
As a
You're
matter of fact,
basically putting your money up, you're setting it and forgetting it. And it's on autopilot. You're making interest on your money. You don't have to worry about, oh, it went down. Let me buy some more. Because it went up. Oh, let me sell. That's like a recipe for a heart attack.
well, let me tell you like this too. Okay, so there's different types of ways you can do full range or you can do tight range, right? And tight range, if the price, okay, so it's like this. You deploy liquidity to the XRP real USD pool and you
Mhm.
say, I want to deploy and I want to get all the fees from 48 cents to 52 cents, which is going to bring you a lot of volume. There's going to be way more volume in there than more of a wider range, saying like 48 cents to like 75 cents. That's a wider range, right? But
Sure.
look at it like this. So there's strategies that are involved in DeFi because what do we do in crypto right now? So I'm going to touch on two different things because a lot of people that are going to watch this too are going to say, well, what about impermanent loss? So remind me to talk about that too. But when you're in a tight range, you can either dollar cost average in or dollar cost average out. And let me explain to you why. Okay. So if you have, let's just say 50 XRP when you deploy into the pool, if that price goes down below that range, down on the low side to 47 cents, you will then have impermanent, you'll have loss, but you'll have more XRP. But why is that more value to you? Because you have conviction in XRP and you are going to dollar cost average into it anyways, right? Now, if it goes the opposite direction, it goes to 49 or 50 cents, now you're going to sell all the way up and it's going to force you to take profits. Once you're out and you take profits, that's on you if you want to redeploy, create a new range, and stay
This
within the
happens on an
XRP.
automated basis for every time you set it, correct?
Yeah, exactly. And if you are connected to
You could be
all of
swimming
the
in your
traders,
pool, or you could be hanging out with your wife at a dinner date, or you could be getting a foot massage at some Vietnamese foot massage joint.
while your digital assets are sitting also in a pool making you passive income, because they're called liquidity pools, or they'll call them LPs. So
Well, I
these
want you to
liquidity
teach
pools,
my wife because she's the digital brain. She's the brain. She's the brainiac behind the computers. She understands. I'm a little old fart. You know what I mean? I get around pretty good, but when it comes to the digital stuff, I leave it up to her. She's the brainiac with that stuff. So, but here
yeah, I would,
I'm
yeah.
definitely leaning towards having you come to the Quantum Summit. Let me ask you a question. Do I need to buy you a diaper? You're going to shit your pants if there's like 1,200, 1,400 people in the crowd?
Nah, man,
You're
I'll love
good?
that shit, dude. Nah,
You're
yeah,
good?
I'm good, brother. I look, so before I started my whole platform just about crypto, I had a like damn near 200,000 following base on TikTok, and I would go live, have thousands of followers and viewers. I go live right now with Cypress on the CYPRX channel every Friday as well, and there's like a few thousand people in there, but talking in front of people is my specialty, especially when I'm passionate about it. Like, it's no stranger, but like what you see right now, my platforms right now, what I was trying to say too is that I've only really been building these platforms for 3 months just on the topic DeFi. So my YouTube page is all DeFi crypto related. My TikTok is the same thing, and same with my Twitter. So like I took a turn. Like before, again, I was like that conspiracy theorist that had a large viewing. Like I had like over 2 million like likes and views and shit on or more views than that on TikTok. But yeah, TikTok, you know how they get down, man. Like I was putting out a lot of truth, and they didn't like that. So yeah, man,
They
I
just
get
shut
it
my
when I
channel down. They just shut my channel down
yeah,
like five
dude.
weeks ago.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
bullshit, dude. The way, because I was making good money off of that page too, man. Like I think in 1 month on that page, I had made 7 racks, and I was just like, "Yo, like this is something." But this is, I'll be honest with you, it's all been part of my journey because I feel again I'm guided by the universe, and I feel like it's my duty to pay it forward to because a lot of people are struggling, bro. Like let's face it, me and you, we're not struggling. We're eating good. We go to the store though, and we see the price increases. Yes, we can afford it, but we're like, fuck though, man. Like, even the person that's checking you out, I get the side eye, like, man, how can you afford this shit? You know what I mean? And it's like people are struggling. So like, I want to pay it forward now to everybody who's involved in crypto. It's like, all right, get your mind out of this psyop, just thinking you should just hodl your tokens. So let me put it to you like this. Let me give you a short analogy real quick here. So if you have a $10,000 portfolio, and there's two people that have a $10,000 portfolios, person A, person B. Person A says, I want to get involved in DeFi. Person B says, I'm not going to get involved in DeFi at all. That first person A says, all right, I'm going to take calculated risk. I'm not going to deploy all my bags. I'm only going to deploy $1,000. At a 300% APR, that person now earned they've earned $3,000, and now they have $4,000. By the second year, $4,000 times 300%, and they now have $12,000. You see where I'm going with this, right? So basically,
The
by their fourth
compounding.
year,
The
they're
compounding.
compounding by just taking that $1,000, deploying into DeFi, and by their fourth year, they would have had made $100,000, and now they have $100,000 to deploy into DeFi. And let's just say people still haven't caught on to DeFi yet, and there's still these juicy golden age APRs. That person is now making $300,000, and they still have the $9,000 that they're hodling that they never touched, right? And person B still has their 10,000. So which one do you want to be? The Uneducated person or the educated person that's taking calculated risk?
Okay, it's official. You're coming to the Quantum Summit. I want you there. I want you with your partner. I want you to put together a PowerPoint presentation, 40 minutes. There's gonna be
Let's do it.
two of you on stage. Okay. This is gonna be televised worldwide. We have some amazing folks already pre-committed to coming down. We just gotta cement them in. Obviously, when you're, if you say yes, Mel, I'm coming. I need you every, like, not every show, obviously, but maybe every other show or every third show
Yeah.
to advertise that you're going to be at the event. The networking value that this has is priceless. You're going to
Okay.
meet people that are going to open up doors for you that if you weren't there would never happen. Does that
Dang,
make
I'm
sense?
there. Say less. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm there, bro. I'm
It's a
already
huge
envisioning
room.
myself there.
We're talking about 11,000, 12,000 square foot room. Professional sound equipment. There's a professional company that's setting all the stage, the sound equipment, the television cameras, so that we go live on the internet worldwide. You're going to be advertising that because we could reach unlimited people on the internet. So anybody who wants to buy a small little ticket to attend live for the 2-day event, we're working out a deal with the hotel to potentially get all of the speakers a free room that's not yet in concrete. It will be hopefully in the next week or so. The people who are buying a ticket, they have the option to just buy a ticket to come to the event and nothing more. They can go get their own food, their own Airbnb, their own travel. This company will actually physically pick you up at the airport and bring you to the event for like $28 each way. So you don't have to even rent a car. Okay. You're going to have
All right.
food.
Yeah.
You're going to have food for lunch and dinner that is an hour and a half buffet. It's on a level of a high end wedding. Okay. I'm talking
Dang.
scallops. I'm talking shrimp. I'm talking steaks. I'm talking high end pastas, etc. Rice with shiitake mushrooms, everything, dessert, vegetables, you name it. It's going to have everything.
I'm
So
there. I'm
it's going to be a
there.
package deal for the people who want package deals. For people who don't have a lot of money and they want to bunk up and have 2 people in a room, so it's a less of an expense for them, they could do that. Or even 3 people in a room, they could do that as well. It's going to have every flexibility known to mankind so that we can make this thing happen. The people that are coming down that I've already talked to, I believe SG Anon. I don't know if you know who SG Anon is. Okay.
Maybe not. I think I may do. I might. Yeah.
He's part of that 17th movement. Okay. We're going to be
Okay.
talking to people potentially. There's a good possibility we might be able to bring in guys like Derek Johnson, who's met with Donald Trump, who's part of that
Okay.
17th movement as well. So now let's get real quick a little bit into Nesara and Gesara. Do you
Let's do
remember?
it. Yeah.
Yeah. This is for your audience. Do you remember when Donald Trump gave the inauguration speech?
Yeah. You know something funny too? Want to know something really funny? My uncle was the pastor who did the inauguration. He was there for Donald Trump's inauguration. His
Interesting.
name is Nicholas Duncan Williams. That's my uncle. He's the third largest known archbishop in the world on the planet. But
Wow.
he did the inauguration for Donald Trump. So yeah,
Interesting.
that's pretty
Well,
awesome, right? That's
maybe
funny you
we
bring this
can
up,
get
right?
him to help us promote the quantum summits. It's going to be world. I mean, look, something very different is going to happen between April and May when we plan on having this. Okay, anywhere between April and May. We don't have an exact date yet. We will soon, and we'll make that announcement for anybody who wants to know the updates. In about 2 or 3 weeks, start going to Quantum Summit 1776.com, and you'll start seeing pictures of this gentleman, Aquaman, and whoever else is going to be on stage, etc. We're going to start to compile all the pictures of people who are committed to coming. I can tell you that when Donald Trump said, we're going to give the power back to you, the people, he meant we're going to give you Nesara Gesara. Look, we're being taxed to death. Whether you like the name Nesara Gesara is irrelevant. If you don't like the name Nesara Gesara, come up with a different acronym and implement it, put it in the suggestion box. Okay. But to poo poo Gesara, that means you want to stay in the old system, the 3-dimensional system. I want to graduate out. I know you want to graduate out. We want to have a flat tax system. How many times has Donald Trump said we need a monetary level playing field?
Many times.
Many
Many
times.
times.
Right. And what does he mean by that? Well, we need a flat level tax system as well. Imagine you're in the, DeFi world. You're making money right now under this old three-dimensional world. You would have to pay income tax on your DeFi when you take it out. It's called
Right.
capital gains. Capital gains
For
goes away.
correct.
Capital gains goes away. Income taxes goes away entirely. The IRS goes away entirely, which is a illegal corporation registered in Puerto Rico. For you guys who want to fact check me who or following Aquaman, you can go do so right away. All right. An illegal enterprise, completely a mafia style organization that was granted a franchise for them to screw with you. All of your money that you're paying to the IRS, again, fact check me, goes to who? The IRS money that you pay to, it goes to the Vatican and it goes to the monarchy in the UK. 100%. None of that money goes to building your bridges or your schools or your roads. None of it. Zero. Not even one red cent. Look it up. Fact check me. Okay. There's that. Then you have the fact that we have all of this gold that we confiscated. Okay. So the money and everything's gonna be backed by what? Gold and silver. You see the banks right now moving towards buying gold and silver. Okay. Nesara Gesara is going to be that monetary level playing field, the level playing field in taxation. Do we need to pay taxes? Yes. But right now, what happens? Guys like Jeff Bezos don't pay any taxes. Guys like Elon Musk, they don't pay any taxes. A lot of these
Right.
big boys and girls, they know how to get around the system. That's not available to you and I. Correct? With the system of
Correct.
Nesara, everybody has to pay their fair share. You can't get away from it. It's unescapable. On things you
Okay.
need, things that are a necessity, you're going to have to pay a tax on. If you want a $500,000 theater system for your house, that's a want. That's not a need. You don't need a $500,000 theater system. That's a want. If that flat
Right.
tax is 10% or 15%, whatever it is, you're going to pay that 10% or 15%. You can't get away from it. You need clothes, right? Clothes are not a
Correct.
want. Clothes are a need. No taxes. You need food. No taxes. You get the picture. But the beautiful thing is that Aquaman, everybody has to pay. And with that system, there's going to be a tremendous amount more money in the pot
Yeah.
at the end of the day than the old system that's screwing you right now. You're lucky right now. If you really want to get down to brass tacks, you're lucky.
Hmm.
You're lucky if you're probably getting 25, 30 cents on every dollar you earn because everything is taxed. You park your car, you got a tax. You get pulled over by the police officer, you're going 9 miles over the speed limit, that's a tax. Property tax, income tax, capital gains tax. There's tax on everything. You go to buy some packaged goods at the store, you're paying taxes. You're an asshole, you need some preparation H, tax. Everything's taxed. Correct?
Facts.
All of
Facts.
this stuff goes
Facts.
away under Nesara and Gesara. All of this goes away. And it lives at QFS 1776.com. There's a document there somewhere on my website, QFS 1776.com, the original document that explains Nesara Gesara verbatim. Okay. And if you watch the videos top to bottom, you don't know what the quantum financial system is, you'll know about it. Okay. It's all there. You watch the videos top to bottom. By the time you get down to the 30-second video, you got a black belt on the quantum financial system. It's coming. You can't get away from it. But I love what you're teaching because it brings a whole new perspective. And I'm going to have my wife probably
Yeah.
gamble with a little bit of our money. Could we call it a gamble or we call it a sure bet?
I think you can call it. I think you can call it. Not a like. I can't. I wouldn't say it's really a gamble. I would say it's a calculated risk. There are some risk involved. So, but DeFi, I feel like is going to go hand in hand with Nesara Gesara because that's the thing too. Before 10 years, 15 years ago, only the major institutions were allowed to deploy liquidity to the private liquidity pools that only institutions had access to. But because now it's a decentralized environment and anybody and their mom can deploy, you know, from as low as to $1 up to $1 billion or however much you got and get involved in DeFi. So I feel like the DeFi thing goes hand in hand with Nesara Gesara. I mean, like right now, you could borrow against your XRP, pull a loan out, and because you had the XRP, you're immediately approved, and then you'll get whatever, you're taking the loan out immediately, and it's all done through smart contracts. So
Mhm.
I feel like the new world through smart contracts, and then the Electronic Signature Act that they passed last year in September. I don't know if you had seen that, but that Electronic Signature Act was basically lighting these smart contracts on fire, and these smart contracts are going to run the world, going forward, especially like import, export, everything is
Absolutely.
still paper and,
Yeah. Yeah.
archaic.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
Yeah.
man.
So with Nesara, Gesara comes 6,000 patents released that the government's been holding from us. Why? Because it messes with their petrodollar. It messes with their medicine, industry, the Ponzi schemes that they have created. Okay. With
Mhm.
the 6,000 patents, I suspect many of these patents are going to be free energy technology. One, which means you'll never have to pay another bill you can you can burn your lights on 24 hours a day. You'll never get a bill. You don't have to pay anybody for your electric bill. You can have a pool, a jacuzzi, a lit up tennis court, whatever. Okay, that's one. With this technology, with this release of these 6,000 patents, I believe will be flying cars. Imagine,
Yeah.
imagine getting in
Damn.
your garage, jumping in your vehicle, and you could be anywhere in the world in 17 minutes. Anywhere.
Yo, I'll be honest
It's
with you, with that
coming.
capability, dude, with that type of I'll be honest with you, I think they have that now. I mean, but that's
They've
another
had it.
story. But like,
They've had it since the 50s.
yeah,
Pat David is the guy that Valuetainment, the Iranian guy.
nah, I don't think so.
You never
No.
saw him.
Or maybe if I don't know a lot of people by their name, but if you showed me their face, I'd probably know who you're talking about.
If I could pull it up, I will absolutely bring it up. Let me see. I know
Okay.
I sent it to my good friend Gila Jed not too long ago. Here it is. Let me share my screen with you. Uh, sound share sound. Tell me if you can hear that, and I'm sure you know who this guy is as soon as you see it. Tell me if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Uh, yeah, I can see it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know
This one's going to
exactly
be a
who
little
that
bit
is. Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
You may even pause the video to want to Google this to say this can't be right. In 1951,
Let
next
me.
one's going to be a little bit weird. You may even pause the video to want to Google this to say this can't be right. In 1951, the U.S. enacted the Invention Secrecy Act. What is that? Allows the government to legally classify and keep certain inventions secret if deemed a threat to national economy or security. What could be a threat to national economy? If you're able to figure something out that's 220 miles per gallon, you think it affects the oil industry a little bit? Maybe. Inventions under a secrecy order cannot be discussed, exported, or sold outside of military channels. Violations of secrecy order can result in imprisonment for the inventor. Over 6,000 patents today are kept by the U.S. government in secret. They didn't allow the people to go out there and sell it. I wonder what those 6,000 patents are. A lot of people want to be like, when you become a president, I want to go to Area 51. A lot of us capitalists want to find out what these 6,000 patents are. Next one's going to be a little bit weird.
Now,
Dang.
when he says it, it carries a lot of weight. Why? Because this guy is worth conservatively,
Yeah.
he's worth about, $300 million. He has his own private jet. He has a $25 million house. He could dock a boat outside of his house that's a 180-foot yacht. He's got tremendous amount of credibility. It's
Yeah.
exactly the same thing I just told you. 6,000 patents. The government's had them all along. What do you think could be there? Do you think maybe there might be some life extension technology that they're hiding from us out of 6,000
Yeah.
patents? Do you think there might
Absolutely.
be maybe 5 or maybe 10 of those? Do you think there might be maybe
Yeah.
20 or 30 free energy technologies? Do you think there might be maybe 30 or 40 different flying cars for you to choose from that could go from Miami to Manila in 17 minutes?
Yeah.
That's that's why they don't want Trump back. They don't want Trump back
Yeah.
because he's the biggest fuck you card they're ever going to see. He's about to
And think
disrupt.
about it too. They have Nikola Tesla's patents too. They have all his inventions.
Yes. Think about
And
it.
Nikola Tesla,
You're still driving a fucking car on 4 rubber tires. Again, this is for your audience. My audience has heard this story a million times, but this is for your audience,
yeah.
not mine. Right? You're driving a car that's got 4 rubber tires, an extension of a Model T fucking Ford. Yeah, okay, you got the Lamborghini with the, with the leather seats and the seats vibrate and they fluff your balls, whatever. All the options.
Yeah.
You're still on four tires. Somebody is controlling the fact that you are going to scrape the earth like a turkey.
Yeah. That's real, bro.
You understand? Somebody doesn't
Yeah.
want you to
Yeah.
go up there and fly at 5,000 miles above the Earth's atmosphere to figure out if the Earth is round, flat, square, rectangular. You feeling
That's
me?
real, bro.
Okay.
Yeah,
Somebody's
100%.
controlling the air quality you breathe. Somebody's controlling the water quality you drink. Somebody's controlling
Yep.
whether you're sick or if you're thriving. To be able to make
That's
it in
real.
today's day and age, you got to be tough as 18-inch steel.
That's real. And educated, not educated through universities and the school system, but educated, you know, like you and I on YouTube. Even you find the correct information, man, you can gain a whole bunch of knowledge and power. You know, I would say when you do homework and you do due diligence, make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's and make sure that the information you heard is real. Google the stuff. Like Mel said, he said, Google the stuff that I just said. If
Yeah.
it's Googleable and if you can
Fact check me.
verify that, yeah, fact check it. But sometimes be careful with that though too. You know what I'm saying? But fact check in your own fashion. You feel me? So
Absolutely.
yeah,
So what if Donald Trump decides instead of giving us flying cars, he gives us like a miniature flying condominium? It's got like a bedroom and 1.5 bath and a little area where you could eat and you could fly anywhere in the world. What happens to Airbnb and hotels.com? What happens to all
yeah,
the
those
car manufacturers? What happens to the guys who build roads and maintain bridges? What happens to the airline stewardess, the baggage handlers? What happens to the guys that paint the airplanes, the guys that make parts for the airplanes? This is the biggest disruption the world will ever see. It's huge.
100%, bro.
It's huge.
Dude, I mean, it's super huge. The fact that you said you could travel anywhere in the world, get there in 15 minutes, 17 minutes, that right there is huge to me. I mean, imagine how much you can knock out more and how much more you can accomplish in life when you have a mindset like us, who's the go-getter, hustler mentality.
Bingo.
Shit, now, man, I can knock this shit out this quick. Like, dude, hey, they may even, give us more. I don't know, man. I don't like. There's
Well,
gonna be
let's just
more that's
say
gonna come
I'm
out
going
of
to
that.
give you a ridiculous scenario which will never exist. But let's say that the old
Yeah.
world could coexist with this new world, five-dimensional world, where I have a flying car. You're still driving your Lamborghini, which is an extension of a Model T Ford with four inflated rubber tires. Okay. And you got to jump in your car and you got to, even though you got a Lamborghini, you can move pretty fast. You can only move as fast as the law allows you to move because someone's controlling how fast you could drive. Right. So you get in your car, you got your little suitcase, you're traveling for a weekend, you're going on a business trip, you're going to the airport, you got to park your Lamborghini in some safe place where they're going to guard your car, your prized possession. Okay. Then you got to jump
Right.
in. You got to jump on a shuttle that takes you to the airport. Then you got to check in. You got to check your bags. You got to take your shoes off. You got to take your belt off. I have a flying machine in my garage. I jump on my flying machine. I go to Japan. I have sushi. I come back, and you're still at the airport taking your fucking belt off.
Oh man, I can't wait, man. That's gonna be a great time, man.
That's
I'm
what's
not gonna
coming.
lie.
People want to put
Yeah.
me in a mental institution when I talk like this.
Nah, you're not. You're spot on. I mean, even Elon Musk talks about his cars flying in the future. I mean, if you
Yeah.
go listen to when he spoke with Joe on the podcast, Joe Rogan, yeah, I mean, that's exactly where it's going. And then he even think about it, if he has the technology for a flying car, and then he also is making those miniature homes, I think, you just kind of described, basically putting both those technologies together, which they probably will merge eventually. Cause I mean, look at mobile homes, and then eventually it's going to just be cool to have, like, that's going to be the it factor thing too now, right? In the future, it's going to be like,
Yeah.
how nice is that? Yeah.
They've been hiding so much shit from us, bro. It's not even funny. But it's all about to come
Yeah.
out. I had fun having you here. I'm definitely interested in you coming down to the Quantum Summit. It's gonna be a lot of fun. By the way, I got them committed to this so far, the hotel. Hors d'oeuvre
Yeah.
party at the end at pool. We're gonna have an hors d'oeuvre pool party with a
Let's
DJ,
run it.
and in between the DJ, we're gonna have karaoke.
Let's run it, bro. I'm there. Let's do it. Get me on the mic, bro. Get me
You
on the
know?
mic. I'm gonna have a grand time, brother. So,
Brother,
yeah.
please come back, teach our people. Let's have another podcast with you and your partner, and let's give the
Yeah.
people a little taste of what you're going to be doing on stage, teaching them with like a PowerPoint. Not too much, because
Yeah.
we want them to come
No,
down.
it's definitely not too much.
We want your
Yeah.
fans to, because at the end of the day, this business of podcasting, it's not about us being behind the microphone. Your fans want to come out and meet you. They want to touch your hand. They want to squeeze you. They want to give you a kiss on the forehead. You understand? You feeling me?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's real. Let's run it, bro. I'm there,
Right?
brother. Say less. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Thank you. Stay behind, brother. Guys, if you enjoyed this content as much as I really, this is one of my most favorite interviews of all time. I really enjoyed myself. I learned a lot. I know you learned a lot. And if you want other people to learn a lot, you got to get your fingers moving, baby, because you know what? Everybody doing a little bit equals a lot. That's the way we beat the algorithms. You are the digital soldiers, and nothing happens unless you move your fingers. Now, move your fingers.